Hi, Ricky.
What's going on?
It's good to see you. Hello, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Gonna do my usual spiel here. This whole first half of the show, Ricky and I are just we're gonna sit here now, have a conversation. We're gonna ignore chat 100%. We're not going to even notice anybody coming in. So if you've come in and said hi, or you've got questions for Ricky or anything, save those to the second half. The second half, we're gonna open it up. And when is the second half? Whenever we get to the second half. Could be. Ricky, are you pressed for time?
No.
I didn't ask you that before. So if we go 2 hours, you're okay with that?
I'm good. Yeah.
I like it like that because it's just a natural flow. We're not worried about the time. So, and mods, if you could, please remind people, if you see people asking questions and stuff, just please remind them that to hold those to the second half. That's it. That's everything. Let's jump in. Ricky, let's see. Let me list what I know about you, or what I think I know about you, and then when I'm done, you can tell me how wrong I was. Well, first of all, I know your name is Ricky,
Right.
which I share. You know, my name's Rick, so that's always a plus. I know you live in Florida.
Yep.
I know you do maintenance on aquatic stuff, but I don't know if that's your main job. Like I know you do maintenance on ponds and stuff, but I don't know if that's your main job. And I know you're married,
Yes.
but I don't know if you have any kids. So let's start with that. So you live in Florida. You've lived there your whole life, or are you Florida born and raised?
Born and raised, 1978.
And don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah, high school then?
I was about to get married the first time then.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and have you always lived in the same part of Florida?
For the most part, yeah. Yeah.
Where is that close to? What's one of the big cities?
I'm in West Palm Beach. It's like 30 minutes from Miami.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was born in Pahokee, which is like an hour and a half west from where I'm at now. And I lived all in the country towns and stuff like that. And we moved to West Palm when I was like 9 or something. 6.
Gotcha. Oh, so most of your life,
yeah,
where you're at now. And what about your wife? Is she from the area as well, or is she a transplant?
No, she's an import. She came from El Salvador.
Oh, okay.
Which, if anybody has a chance, I hate to say it, import your wife. You'd be a lot happier.
That's good. She's an import. I like it. And do you guys have any kids?
Not together.
Okay.
Not together. She has a 27-year-old daughter, which I consider my daughter, which she adopted while she was in El Salvador. It was her brother's kid. He passed away of some kind of weird bacteria in the brain when the baby was born. So she adopted her niece. And that's the only kid she's ever had. And I have 3 kids of my own, 2 daughters and a son. Both of my older daughters already, one's married, one's living with a boyfriend, and my son's living in my fish room.
Nice. I just didn't think you had kids that old. I was thinking your kids were maybe, right about early 20s, maybe like 20 years old, and that's it. That would be the max.
Well, my oldest daughter's 22.
Okay, all right. So yeah, they're right around there.
I got started young. I had my first kid at 19, 20-ish around there. I got it out the way.
Start. Gotcha. Oh, I looked at chat. You know what? I'm going to minimize the chat, so I'm not even looking at it because Leo got me. Damn you, Leo. You got me. There's a whole thing going on there. It's a fun thing, though. Okay, so Florida, born and raised. Have you thought about living elsewhere, or are you like totally happy living? I mean, did you ever think about moving to Philadelphia or Minnesota?
I've thought about moving to the snowy areas. Then I seen snow for the first time. I was in Nebraska for 6 weeks in December. And the snow was as high as my shoulders. And I said, this is not for me. Maybe not.
Yeah, but you could get someplace in the middle that gets a little bit of snow. But you're happy with Florida. Florida's home.
Yeah, I found out throwing snowballs ain't that fun. It's
You got to get a little ice in there. Got to get a little ice in there. Give it a, so really there's some impact. That's the best way to do it. It's got to have, it's got to be an ice ball, but not total ice because that'll hurt somebody, but just a little nugget of ice.
Trying to hurt somebody. It's cool.
So again, Florida is home though. You really like living there.
Yeah, it actually is paradise here. I mean, it gets hot.
Sure.
Really, really. Like today, it felt like 104 with the humidity and everything like that. And I don't know why they say it feels like 104. Because if it feels 104, it's 104 to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it gets hot. But
you're used to it.
Yeah. Well, no, not really.
No.
You never get used to it. When you walk outside the door and it feels like the devil farted in your face, it's so dang hot. Yeah.
I lived in Arizona for a long time, and I think I did get used to it because I came from Chicago and then went to Arizona, and it gets, they say it's a dry heat, but yeah, it's still friggin' hot. When it's 115, it's, when the blacktop's melting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we got acclimated, and then we moved to New York, and the same thing.
You do get.
It takes a while,
but it does. Like I work out in the direct sun all day, every day. I'm doing pool maintenance and stuff like that. I do pool repairs and all that good stuff. I used to be a plumber, out digging trenches and laying pipe and all that stuff. And it gets to you, man.
Yeah, working outside and it's not fun. I did that too. So
that's
a good segue, though. I'm sorry, you cut out there a little bit. What'd you say?
I was as light as you at one point until I went to work outside.
I never used to be this white too. I was, I was tan. But that's a good segue though, when you're talking about work and stuff. So currently you it's just everything water related as far as ponds and pools. And what do you do what's your exact
My job is pool maintenance, equipment repair, replacement of equipment and stuff like that. The pond stuff I do on the side. That's how I support my hobby. That's how I support, all my toys, whatever. So yeah, I got one lady who has a pond, and she likes me to maintenance it. And I added filters to it because she never had a filter on the pond. You couldn't see her fish, and that's how I got started with her. I added a regular pool cartridge filter. They didn't work out so well.
No,
you got to clean it every day. So then I put a sand filter, and it's been great with the sand filter.
Gotcha. Is that the one you did the video on? I think it was like last year, where it was like in the middle of a. Is it a backyard? It doesn't look like a backyard.
That's her front doorway.
Okay.
So as soon as you walk up to her door, you got the pond to your right.
Okay.
I'm trying to get her to break it out and make it bigger and deeper because she got koi in there, and you know how big koi get.
Yeah.
So they need more room. So hopefully we'll be able to do that soon.
I remember watching you clean it up the very first time or whatever you were doing that video though, and it is a beautiful setup. Really is. I mean, she's lucky to have something like that. Does she have any fish inside too, or is it just that stuff in the pond?
She has koi.
Okay.
Koi, and they just had babies. So now she got koi babies everywhere. She's like, "Are you adding fish to my pond?" I'm like, "No, they're breeding."
She thought you were like coming in the dead of night and dropping baby fish in there.
Yeah, I'm like, no, they're having babies. They keep having babies, so now I'm getting worried because I'm like, they're going to be too big for this pond. So
you can go give them to Jason. He'll take them. He told me he was looking for koi. He said that specifically. Yeah, so just tell him I said that. It was okay. So how did you fall into doing the pool stuff too? You said you were a plumber and stuff. So how did you get into the pool stuff?
I used to be a plumber. I worked for this plumbing company. I was there 5 years, but the boss was just like so tough to work for, man. On top of everything else, he was an outspoken racist. He told a couple of people, "I should send you right back to Haiti, this and that and the other, and you're a dumb this and all these words and stuff." And I was like, man, it was really stressful working there.
Yeah.
He never got mad at me or yelled at me, but just in general, the whole atmosphere was real stressful.
Was it the owner or just the
he was the owner?
Okay.
It was a small company when I first started working there. Everything was fine, but he grew so fast, so quick. I think he grew too fast for himself.
Yeah.
So if you made a mistake, you heard it for 6 months, and so did the rest of the company. So I mean, it was a stressful environment. Like I said, with me, he was fine, but when he's pissed off with somebody else, it back blows on you. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Just it taints the whole environment.
I ended up in the hospital for 4 days because my blood pressure was so elevated, and
Wow.
I gotta find something else.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine does pools. He works for a pool company, and I was like, man, if there's ever an opening, let me know. So finally, there was an opening, and I said, yeah, I'll take it. Then when I went and told my boss, I put in my 2 weeks. He gave me a $3 raise. So I was like, all right, well, we got to talk. So I talked to him, and I told him how I felt. Oh, no, everything's going to change, this and that and the other. All right, no problem. 2 years go by, and it was the same thing. And
you put up with it for 2 years. So
yeah.
7 years altogether?
It was 5 years altogether.
Okay, so the 3 years, and then you had the blood pressure incident. Okay, and then 2 more years you put up with that crap.
The money was good. It was decent.
Yeah,
it
makes it
wasn't
tough.
great, but I had 3 weeks vacation. I had, all the benefits, health, dental, vision, all that stuff, retirement. So I got another opening at my buddy's pool place, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it. And I didn't say nothing. I just went to work one day on a Friday, grabbed all my tools, packed everything up, put them in my car, like I had a side job to do or something, and I never went back. he called me, and I was like, dude, I just can't handle you, man. I can't. So I've been with the pool company almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
The money's actually better. I don't have a boss on top of me all the time, actually at all. I see him on Fridays, maybe. I don't have to even see him for my paycheck because it's direct deposit. So he texts me once in a while, and that's it.
Perfect.
So it's great.
How many pools do you take care of, like for over an entire week? Let's say entire month. How many different pools do you touch?
I do a little over 80 right now.
Wow.
Over 80 a week. And it's not that bad. I'm home by 2 o'clock.
Wow, 80.
On a late day. Unless I got a repair to do or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
80's not that bad. When I first started, the guys had like 110 and 120.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It just feels like you can't. I don't know. It just seems like so much. It's a lot of damn pools. But you like it. And it's not stressful at all. So it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I actually did a live stream with Jess as I was working.
I saw that. Yes. Yeah. So, I watched that one on the morning show. Yeah, I remember that one.
That's how not stressful it is. I can do stuff.
So before plumbing, what was your very, very first job you ever did?
In my whole life?
Yeah, way back when. What was the very first thing you ever got paid for?
Dishwasher at 14, 15 years old at Ponderosa.
Okay.
Ponderosa, or if you ever know what, I was a dishwasher there. And that was miserable too. First job,
the old Ponderosa way back in the day, it was a decent steakhouse. My grandpa loved going to Ponderosa. And then they started, they got bought out, and they frozen steaks come in, and they just, I don't know. It wasn't the same. Not that their steaks were, cut fresh from the cow right there, but it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. That they had decent food way back in the day. Ponderosa was a decent place to go.
Yeah, that was the early 90s. So, yeah, it was good. I was out there with the A-frame sign,
Oh, yeah.
That said Ponderosa this way or whatever. And I would stand out there, and I had my little jug of soda and stuff in case they get hot. Yeah,
nice.
15 years old, man, that's what I was doing. I got that job on accident. I went with my mother. She was supposed to get an interview there so that she could get a job. But for some reason, it didn't work out, and they looked at me, and they were like, you want the job? I said, yeah, sure. It was summertime. I didn't care. And that was it. I started working, and I never went back to school.
You stole your mom's job.
She gave it to me.
Was she upset at all, or was she happy?
No, because she got the paycheck.
Yeah.
My mom, for me, dude, she used to be everything for me, man.
Yeah.
Now she passed away in 2008.
I was just going to ask. Yeah, that's tough when you're close. Yeah.
She was my mom, my dad, my best friend, the whole thing.
Yeah. That is tough when it's when you're close to your family like that and they do so much. I know people like that.
Yeah.
So Ponderosa was the very first job. And what kind of stuff did you do after that? You don't have to go through everything, but is there any like interesting jobs you did?
I used to work for the
years. I'm sorry, it cut out again.
I worked for the Magic Kingdom when I was 18.
Oh, okay. What'd you do there?
I worked from 7 at night to 7 in the morning as a cook. So I would cook for the employee because there's employees there 24 hours a day fixing equipment and stuff like that, and I would cook for them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
They would come down and for the break, and I would make their food, and I ran the whole kitchen by myself, 7 in the morning to 7 at night, or 7 at night to 7 in the morning. And
at 18, and you were running the whole kitchen.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't many people coming in. They would come in one swoop, and you wouldn't see nobody for the rest of the night.
Oh, gotcha. And what kind of stuff were you cooking? I mean, was it
sandwiches, hamburgers, chicken sandwiches, stuff like that?
Okay.
Grill.
Okay. Sort of fast food stuff.
Yep.
Still, I mean, at that age, doing it all by yourself.
When I was working there, somebody in the morning shift, because the Magic Kingdom had their own bank underneath the Magic Kingdom. It's a Disney bank where you can go cash your checks, and they got all this money and everything. Somebody drove out of there with a whole armored truck.
Really?
Never found. Yeah, somebody.
They never found you, right?
They never knew it was me.
Somebody. I never knew they had a bank under there.
Yeah, that's where she cashed my check and stuff. And they had I've seen all the characters get changed. I've seen who was who and what was what. And it was cool. I found out Minnie Mouse was the dude. Daisy Duck was the guy. Yeah. Oh, it blew me away.
You didn't tell kids that though, right? You didn't like confuse anybody.
Oh, I told everybody. I told all the kids. I told them Santa Claus.
That's a guy. Mommy, make the bad man stop.
It was a really cool job. Man.
How long did you work there then?
2 years, year and a half, something like that.
Okay, gotcha.
We travel the underground tunnels from restaurant to restaurant and stuff. It was really neat.
That would be cool to see I would love to see the that side of it, because we all see the outside of it, but we don't see how it all runs very well. But I've heard a lot of horror stories. I know, like they don't allow anybody to be the time of death has to be off site, right? They can't say that anybody's actually died on the property. They take them off the property and then call time of death. I did hear about that.
Not sure about that, but I know they got their own police and their own secret services and stuff like that.
It's a country. I mean, they've got their own tax thing and everything. Well, they used to.
Yeah, it's amazing how Disney runs. I mean, they're their own world.
Yeah, and there's a whole seedy side to that too. There's a lot of books out there. Cory Doctorow wrote one that was really interesting, but there's a whole bunch of people who wrote books about the seedy side of the Magic Kingdom, and it's pretty interesting stuff. Some of the stuff they get into, and it's not just if they have facts, they can show you facts. This really did happen. Here's everything. It's not just conjecture or anything. So it's really cool to see that.
And I'm sure you can still find them somewhere on YouTube where Disney's plan was over all of Orlando. That was supposed to be their plan. The whole thing was supposed to be owned by Disney. And even now, if you work for Disney World, you get discounts in apartment complexes, for your rent and stuff like that. You get discount on that. You get discount on your move-in. You get discount on cars.
Wow.
You get discounts at hotels. They pay for your medicine. They pay for your doctor. Nothing comes out of your check. I mean, there's a lot of benefits working for Disney.
Gotcha.
I don't know what they are now, but I know they used to be.
Yeah, I bet they still are. I mean, there's so much money. It's not like money's an issue with all the movies and everything that they have. Marvel, Star Wars, all the different things. They own everything. Disney owns everything.
They own everything. Yeah.
They're probably watching right now, and hopefully I don't get swatted. I have a feeling if you hear, I'm actually a little worried now. They're gonna the Gestapo, the Disney Gestapo is going to come and get me.
Well, if you hear a chopper, you know to run.
Run? I can't run.
Ain't going nowhere.
Maybe I could push my chair really hard or something, and So, besides the armed robbery, was there anything else that you saw while you worked there too? Anything really weird? Anything?
Just the underground tunnels were pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Seeing all the stuff nobody sees. All right, what was next? What any other cool jobs before you became a plumber?
I went to a place called Job Corps when I was a kid, where it's a government school.
Yeah.
Train you for a trade, and you get your GED and all that stuff, and you live there, and they pay you to be there.
Oh, gotcha.
So you get an allowance. They buy your clothes. They buy all the stuff. When you leave with a nice check to get you started. So I did carpentry, and I was trained carpentry by the union, the carpentry union here in Florida, which is almost non-existent now. And I had a job building the animal kingdom.
Nice.
Which is another part of Disney.
Yeah.
Until they found out I was underage and they fired me. But I was there for 2 weeks. I was a week away from my 18th birthday, and I got laid off.
Because of your age? Because
of my age, yeah.
Did you lie about your age when you started? How did they not know?
They just didn't pay attention because they went through the union.
Yeah.
And then the union placed me on that job. I don't know how the hell, but yeah, that was their excuse. I was underage.
1 week. One week away. So did you keep doing it after did you go to some other places after that, or you were done with carpentry?
No, I was done with carpentry. Carpentry here, a lot of it's high rises, and you got to hang off buildings and do trim work. And I don't do good with heights.
I'm with you.
A 4-foot ladder, that's it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't want to hang. I got offered a lot of jobs. But you're hanging off the side of a building, you're doing trim work, you're going 3, 4, 5 floors, and I was like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
too big.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It takes a special somebody. My father-in-law is a construction worker. Well, he was. He's been retired a long time. But they called him Coyote Bob because in Arizona, there's a lot of Mormon churches, and they're massive buildings. They look like big barns. They're huge. And he never even was like roped in or anything. He would just climb up that main beam, using his hammer and just way the hell up, and not any kind of safety stuff or anything. And he never bothered him.
No,
he did that for years. Coyote Bob.
when I was doing Animal Kingdom, some guy fell off the scaffolds. I think it was like 3 high or something like that, and he didn't make it. He landed it wrong or something.
Wow.
That's why I don't do heights.
Yeah,
I'm not a ball. I don't bounce. I'm just shaped like a ball, but I don't bounce.
Gotcha. And that, I guess that would, especially being 17 years old and seeing someone die, that might make you not want to do that job anymore.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
He was an old timer too, man. I felt bad for the guy.
I mean, the Job Corps thing's a good idea, though. That's a great idea. I love it because, college isn't for everybody, but learning a trade like that is imperative if you're not going to do college, having that to fall back on. Is there anything that you learned from that Job Corps thing that you still use today in anything? I mean, is there any kind of life lessons they taught you or any of that kind of stuff?
Just how to use tools. All that it goes into any kind of trade job. Once you know how to use a tool properly, you can take that with you, and it transferred to the plumbing. When I used to do drywall, metal framing, I did a lot of construction type jobs.
Gotcha.
So everything just transfers.
Yeah.
That was cool. He was an old Cuban teacher. The guy had to be 60 something, almost 70. And I was, 15, and I used to look up to the guy, and he would teach you and stuff. I almost shot a few people with nail guns on accident because you miss the wood and it catches. Yeah.
On accident.
But that's where I got the love for wood making. That's why all my stands I build myself.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing a video. You've done a video on it, right? Putting them together. I think you were rebuilding your fish room one time or something. You were putting it all together. I was talking to you while you were doing it or something.
I think I rebuilt this fish room like 12 times already since I've been here.
Yeah.
Lately I've gotten rid of so many tanks. I've gotten rid of a lot of fish. I've been reducing a lot because I just don't have the time.
Okay, I was going to ask. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. And it's really just the time. You can't give them the care that they need, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're doing water changes on 30-something plus tanks, plus you're in a one-bedroom apartment, you got your wife living with you. My son came to live with me in November, so room had to be made.
Yeah.
I'm still making rooms. I'm still trying to figure out. I got 355s here on my left that are stacked, one on top of the other in the stand that I made, and I'm getting rid of that.
So how many do you have right now? How many tanks total right now?
Running, I have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 tanks running at the moment.
Gotcha.
So
And you want to get rid of, sorry.
everything's getting reduced. Everything's getting put together. You know, my plan is to stay just with the 110 and the 125 behind me.
Okay.
All the rest is going to be eventually taken down and put away until I can move. Like I said, I'm in a one-bedroom apartment. I try to pull off the impossible, and I did for a while.
Yeah.
I did for a while. You know, I don't know how many tanks set up in here. I don't know how many tanks set up outside on the patio. But, you know,
Is it shaded? Is it shaded pretty well, the patio?
It's got, you know, it's got the roof on it and it's screened in.
Okay.
And the sun doesn't hit too hard on that side.
Okay.
Some things turn green once in a while. I got to go out there and scrub them, do water changes and whatnot. But
did you keep anything that needed to be on the cooler side, or did you always try to keep fish that could deal with the warmer temps?
Yeah, tropical fish. Everything had like right now I got discus, Geophagus, a couple of angelfish, you know, stuff like that. Everything needs high heat.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah. Why try and keep something you couldn't?
Right.
And was heat ever an issue for those outside tanks, really? Did it ever get too hot for them?
Never got too hot. It's gotten a little cold. I think I made a video of it one time. When I got home, it was going to be like 30 degrees for a few days. So I had to bring, it was like 12 or 14 tanks into the house. So I was up to like 11 o'clock. And I had to move the stand in and reinforce the stand because it wobbled some. Bring the tanks in, fill them back up with the fish in them. It was a whole lot of not fun.
And because that doesn't happen, how many days below 40 do you have a year usually?
Usually 1 or 2, maybe 3.
Just that year,
that year it was supposed to be like a week or week plus, and it never even happened. I think I got to like 31 time, and that was it.
So you did all that. Well, you probably needed to anyways. I guess if you had heaters for the one day, you probably don't even have to worry about heaters, do you?
All my tanks have heaters, unless you're outside.
Okay.
If you're outside, they don't get heated. But I keep my house cold.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
I get the apartment at 74 at night. It gets, which still ain't too bad, but then you should be. You know, I was worried about the heat because the object of what I was doing was breeding. It wasn't just keeping the fish and keep them happy. I wanted to breed and I wanted to sell.
Yeah.
Which happened for a little bit, but like I said, when you don't have the time and work picks up, and you know, I got to go to a church meeting here, or I got to go do this over here. My brother calls me and all this, you know. So it got to be hectic. Yeah, life got hectic.
Yeah, gotcha. So you've pared down. I'm in the same process. I mean, I only have 11 tanks. I just got rid of one though. There's a big space here. I took it down yesterday, and this one's next. That's all guppies. They're all going in tubs outside, and then Keystone Clash is into September, and I'm giving them all away. I still got 2 more. So those 2 will be gone, this one, and 2 other ones I'm going to get rid of, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So at least I'll have 4 tanks less to take care of. Maybe I'm just behind. I don't have the excuses that you do, or reasons, I should say. You know, I don't have any excuses. I just haven't been maintaining well. So,
and some days you just don't feel like doing nothing. So
yeah.
And
I have those.
Then the fish suffer, you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
I got to do how many water changes right now? Oh my goodness! And you're not going to sleep. You're not doing none.
Yeah, you want to. I mean, that's the point I'm at too. And I feel bad that I'm not taking care of the fish correctly. So, you got to make changes before. I'm not losing fish, but I want to make changes before that happens. You know, I want them to live decent. Okay, so we walked through was there any other jobs that you wanted to talk about, or did we get most of the? I always ask about jobs because I think it tells a lot about people, what type of person you are, depending on what you've done in your life. I always think it's interesting to find out what type of jobs people have held. Again, it just like, so I assume that you're just really handy and you can probably, if you had to build something, you could build something and not even think about it. If you built something, you knew it was in good shape, it was going to be sturdy. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
If
if uh, if
if I
your alternator goes out in your van, you can fix it real quick.
yeah. Oh,
Stuff like that.
that was a hot day. That wasn't very fun.
No. What did you have to pull? You pulled into like a car parts store or something and fix it?
I happened to be right there at the auto parts store, and it just went and it died. Oh God! So luckily, I got tools in my truck that I use at work, and I got the job done pretty quick. Well, you wasn't there, but when I started and I finished,
Yeah.
it didn't take that long.
No, it wasn't. It was within the stream. Was that the Aquatic Morning Show? I don't remember where we were at when you were talking about it. Maybe it was my stream.
It was your stream. It was one of your streams.
Okay.
2 o'clock or something like that. Yeah.
But it wasn't long. I mean, I want to say half an hour, maybe 40 minutes at the most. And you were
going inside, dealing with the guy, him coming outside testing and all that good stuff. Luckily, they had the parts on the hand.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Card, so
I hate it. I hate working on cars. I always hate it. Absolutely, just hate it.
I'm not built for that stuff. I'm not built for mechanics, and I'm not built for speed. So
I'm with you. It's not just our name we have in common. Okay. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I got rid of the beard.
You had a lot more gray there. You were getting there was some heavy gray coming in.
It was longer.
Yeah.
So it looked like it was more gray.
No, there was more gray. It wasn't an optical illusion. Look, there it is. See? It's coming in. See, that's a better look. You need to go more gray. I don't feel as bad when people are more gray.
I like it the way it is. I like the stripes. I feel like an old tiger. Yeah, I took it off, man. It's so
maybe
hot.
Just shave it and leave just the white.
I thought about it. I really did think about it, but my wife said no.
Speaking of your wife, how'd you guys meet?
We met at church.
Okay.
I just happened to show up to church one day, and I used to never go. I used to never go to church. And I didn't even know what a church looked like on the inside. And one day I went, and I saw her, but I pretended like I didn't see her. And 8 months went by before I said the first word to her. And we've been inseparable since.
How long has that been now? How long have you guys been together?
We've been married now. We just had our 9th year anniversary.
Okay.
We've known each other 10 years. We got married 3 months after we met. Or we tried to get married. Then they wouldn't let us get married for some documents. So a few months later, we got married. But yeah, 3 months after we met, it was like, let's get married.
Wow. You don't waste no time. You knew she was the right one.
When you
you
find a good woman, you don't let go.
Yeah. It's been 30 plus years, 35, I think, roughly, that we've been together. 35 years. Not married for 35. We've been married for 30, 31. But yeah, so I'm with you. You find that one, stick with her.
Oh. I had an accident on my motorcycle. And they didn't think I'd ever walk again. Well, I fooled them. Let me tell you, I'm walking. But she took care of me.
How long ago was that?
That was in 2012.
That'd be okay. I was gonna say that had to be a while ago.
Yeah, I was in 2012. I was at a stoplight, and next thing you know, I'm in the hospital. Supposedly they trauma-hocked me, this and that and the other. I woke up in the hospital, coming off the chopper, like off the helicopter pad. And they were trying to put my arm back in place. but they couldn't because it was broken. You know, the socket, this part right here was broken in half. So I got 3 screws there and a couple plates and all that stuff holding it together.
Wow. Wow.
So she took care of me through that whole process. And, you know, we were just dating, barely dating. And that's when I said, you know what? This is one hell of a woman, man. She used to bathe me, take me to the restroom, help me, everything. So
she saw the worst part of you. I noticed my signal has dropped really bad. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It's been fine for so long. This is the first day in forever it's messed up. So I apologize. And it looks like it might have bounced back. So hopefully, again, the audio is good enough. But so she saw the worst, absolute worst part of you. I mean,
yeah,
you know, there's nothing. What can you do now that would drive her away, other than, you know, the obvious cheating stuff or something like that? But I mean, she's taking care of you through that kind of stuff. The rest of the life must be cake. Everything else after that point, I mean, that's the bottom. You know, you started out at the bottom. There's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a long-term relationship there.
We were barely dating, so.
Okay, everybody's saying it's fine. Okay, good.
Yeah, she saw the worst of me, and now she gets hopefully what I consider the best of me. Even though I'm sure I get on her nerves every once in a while, but you know, what am I gonna do?
That's our job. We're supposed to keep them on their toes. That's what we're supposed to, you know. Otherwise, they'd be bored. They have to have something to complain about. So that's the role that we fill. We make sure they have plenty to complain about and keep them happy.
Yeah, I keep telling her, hey, look, when I pass away, you're gonna miss all these little things. So enjoy it while you can.
I say that too, but it means it's a little different when I say it. I'm not going to go into details, but it's a little bit different. And it's a hurtful thing. All right. So it was something you were talking about something. I do this all the time. There was something you said and I was going to expand on it, but I don't remember what it is now. All right. Well, you probably don't have a lot of time for different hobbies though, right? But if you had all the time in the world, what kind of stuff would you like to do? What kind of things do you enjoy doing in your spare time if you had more of it?
I like being outside. I like hunting. I like fishing. I like building stuff with my hands. You know, woodworking has always been a passion of mine. I just, like you said, don't have the time. I don't like cars at all. You know, but
I missed that part. You said you didn't like what at all?
I don't like working on cars.
Oh yeah.
But no, anything that has to do with my hands. I love working with my hands. You know, creating something out of nothing. It's just awesome.
Gotcha. Are you artistic too at all, or do you do any anything like that? Not at all. No. So when you build something, it's functional. Even though it might look nice, it's still the main goal of it is to be functional.
Yeah, it's made for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. And it's going to be stable and, you know, gotcha. Okay. I've got the worst cough tonight. I don't know what's going on. All right. Geez, we're 40 minutes in, and PB should open a pottery shop. Patty says, Pattery. So PB should open a pottery shop.
You know, I've really thought about it. My boss's mother has an old kiln that she doesn't use anymore, and I thought about using it and then making like Pleco cage and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I haven't gotten to that point just yet. But I actually have thought about it. My mom used to do it.
Your mom used to do that?
Yeah, she used to do stuff like that.
Like what kind of stuff would she make too? Like, you know, different bowls and vases.
She would buy the bowls, and she'll make like little dolls, little porcelain-looking dolls and vases. And she did a lot of elephants. That's the big thing in Puerto Rico is the elephants. For some reason, the elephants are good luck. So she used to make a lot of those things.
I never knew that. That. So elephants figure heavily in Puerto Rican culture?
For some reason, yes. At least in my family. I'm not sure about everybody, but...
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
We used to have one. One had to be given to you. One had to be bought, and one had to be, I think, made or something. I don't remember exactly how it was, but one was facing with the back of it towards the door, and then I don't know. It was a bunch of stuff to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, I've never heard that before. It just, begs the question, why elephants? I don't believe there's ever been elephants, not ever, but I mean not recently, elephants in Puerto Rico.
No, the only elephant I know about is Dumbo.
So I wonder where that comes from. That's a really interesting thing I'm going to have to look up and learn about now, and see if it's widespread. Because I had a very long time roommate. One of my best friends in the world is his name is Angel. He's from Puerto Rico, born and raised. In fact, I don't remember where in Puerto Rico he lived, but he uh, he didn't know English at all, and then his parents landed a job as mathematicians for a oil company in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, wow.
So they went from living in a place, and he described it as more of a barrio, more of a ghetto type area, yeah. And went from that to where they were very well off. I mean, extremely rich.
Wow.
He went to boarding school in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, with all these super white kids. In fact, one of his friends he met there is Art. Oh God, he's the owner of the Chicago Blackhawks now. Art. Damn it, he went to his wedding and everything. But regardless, he went from living in this place that wasn't very nice. And I know there's beautiful places in Puerto Rico, but he did not live in one of those the way he described it. And total different lifestyle change. Beaver Dam, Wisconsin is about as white bread as you can get, and it was a huge culture clash for him. The most interesting thing I think was we were talking about the A Team, and he was talking about, remember the A Team, the TV show, the A Team?
Oh, the 18, yeah, with
Mr. T and
Annabelle.
So Mr. T, his name on the show in America was B.A. Baracus, Bad Attitude Baracus. Well,
Right.
B.A. didn't fit for anything there, because it was all dubbed in Spanish, so his name was Pedro. And it was the funniest thing to me that it was Mr. T was Pedro instead of B.A. Baracus. It's just, I don't know.
I didn't know that. That's something new for me.
So do you still have family in Puerto Rico or
Yeah, I have a lot of family over there still, and I have family in New York, Pennsylvania, some here in Florida, up in Orlando. Yeah, the family on my dad's side, I have no idea where they're at. I never met them.
Okay.
I only know of my mother's side of the family.
You've never met your dad at all?
Yeah, I met him when I was 28.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I knew my father, but
Okay.
then the divorce happened, and he was absent until I was 28, and then he's still absent now. So
okay, that's what I was going to ask. That was my follow up. Is if you guys have ever, so he's still around, but you guys don't ever talk or anything.
When we're in the same room, we'll speak. I'm not mad at him. I forget.
Sure.
What happened between him and my mother. Not everybody's perfect.
Yeah.
And I hug him. Give him a kiss on the cheek. Hey, Dad, how you doing? I call him Dad. I don't.
Okay. But it's just not a high priority in your life to happen.
I'm not calling him on the weekend. Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on his sixth wife.
Jesus. Jesus.
6 or 7, something like that. I think it's 6.
Wow.
I know it's past 5. And supposedly he's got a baby with her, which I just don't think it's his, but whatever. He's 76, 77 years old. I just don't think he's pumping them out like that.
Hey, you don't know. I mean, wow, to be a father at that age, though. How many kids does he have? Do you know how many half brothers and sisters or other brothers and sisters?
It's me and my 3 brothers, same mother, father, and then I don't know. It's been rumors here and there.
Yeah,
come out of his mouth, and later he's like, "Oh, I never said that." I'm like, "Yeah, you did say that."
I mean, 6 of them. You got to think at some point, maybe it's me.
It is him.
you know, you know, one or two. Okay, maybe there was a one person's fault or the other, or it was everybody, but six or seven. Uh, yeah, that's got to be, hey, maybe I could do something different.
I tell you what, my father's old school, and to this day, he feels like the woman has to cook, clean, barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen type deal.
Gotcha.
What the kid's looking for. You're not going to find that, buddy.
No.
And I had to change that in myself. I think that's in the imprinted in DNA. Because when I met my wife, she set me straight. She's like, "Look, buddy, it ain't like this." So like, I got married quick, but it wasn't easy. It was a big problem. But yeah, my dad, he wants somebody to take care of him, cook for him, wash his clothes, be at the ready when he's at the ready. And I'm like, dude, you want a slave,
Yeah.
you want a
He
wife.
wants a maid.
That's why he keeps having 7 wives.
It's just hard to get over. That's a lot.
Yeah. I've been married once, and God forbid it doesn't work out. That's it, dude. I'm done.
This is my second, and I did it right the second time. I learned from my first mistake. And I'm not saying that I was not to blame for a lot of it, but
how old were you the first time you got married?
The first time?
Yeah.
First time I was I think I was 20. I think I was 20. Yeah, so because no, yeah, I was 21, I think. And it didn't last for very long. It was only a few years. And then I was single and having fun for quite a few years, and then met Michelle.
Yeah.
I lived with a band in Arizona right by ASU. It was just,
party time.
Stuff was falling out of the trees, if you know what I mean. It was just everywhere.
Yeah, I was 35 when I got married.
35. See, that makes a lot more sense. Getting married young. And no, it happens and it works for some people. Some people get married. Who do I know? Geez. Oh, well, Grant and Shelby, they were high school sweethearts. It's working out great for them. And I have another friend too, and I'm drawing a blank on who it is, but they met the girl, their wife, in high school, and they've been married for like 30 years. So it does work. But
that they got married young, and they're still married today. So it worked out great for them. But I didn't want to get married ever. I never wanted to get married. Never, 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 never. That was just an absolutely no for me.
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Life was just too much fun.
Yeah. You just didn't see any positive side of it.
Yeah, I wasn't always this ugly. I used to be cute. So I had my options, and I was having a lot of fun. I really was. And then I met my wife, and it was like somebody hit me with a stop sign right in the face. So she changed my whole life.
Yeah. We've never got to see her.
She won't go on camera.
Yeah.
She's been in the background in a few videos doing her nails or something, because she does to do her nails and stuff. But she never wants to be on camera.
Yeah. I remember you talking to her once or something during a live stream. You just yelled over at her because somebody asked you a question or something. Maybe it was Funk or somebody asked you a question, and she did respond. Michelle's the same way. She's never once put on video. She's trying to, though. She's trying to get the nerve up to do it. She thinks it'd be good for her to break out of the box a little bit, just break out of her comfort zone. Because this can be, for certain people, this can be really, trying.
If you look at my first video, you'll see how nervous I was. I mean, it was just like, it took me a while to be able. My first live stream I did with Royal Fish Aquatics. I don't know if you remember him.
Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos. And I had like 35 subscribers or something like that. And he put me on his live stream, and I was so nervous. I was sweating. Oh yeah.
I actually just saw Carlos not that long ago. He said he's been he's dealing with some things in his life. I don't know if you still see him often, but because he lives not too far from you, right?
He lives about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
I went to his house one time, to build him a rack for his fish tanks. So it had like 5s on top, 10 in the middle, and 20s on the bottom. And that's the last time I seen him. Last I heard of him.
It was just a couple. Well, maybe it was about a month ago now. He did come into a stream and he said he's been dealing with some PTSD is what he said.
Yeah.
And it's been hard on him recently, but it was good to see him because I like Carlos. I missed him. It was always on Wednesday nights, I think, right? He didn't do a live stream on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, Carlos was an awesome dude. I mean, I talked to him maybe 6 months ago, or maybe a little more than that. And he's driving trucks now. He's a truck driver, from what he said. And that's the last. Every once in a while he'll call me, or but he's a real private person, so I don't like to press on him.
Sure. Yeah. I get that. But it was good to see him, and I hope he does. Carlos, if you're watching, I hope you do start hanging out with us a little bit more often.
I'd love to see him come back.
Was there anything we didn't talk about that's happened in your life that you'd like to share? Anything that, major that sort of made you who you are today that we didn't go over? Anything that happened, good, bad?
There's a lot of stuff that made me who I am today.
Yeah.
I mean, just in general, the way life worked out for me growing up, it was never easy. My dad wasn't there, so my mom did what she could. She worked all the time. It got to be so bad to where we would steal electricity. If you remember back in the days, they would put the little plastic chips on the thing and then put your ball back. Well, we would take it out, take the chips off, and plug it back in. And we had power. And, I mean, my mom worked 2 jobs. I think that's what made me such a hard worker, was watching her work.
Yeah.
My older brother became my dad, So watching him succeed made me want to succeed. My other older brother went to the Navy. He was in the Navy for 20 years. He succeeded, So I had those role models, I've done a lot of stuff, a lot of dark stuff that, I was arrested when I was 15 years old. I was facing 20 years in prison. Luckily, I only did 21 days, and I had to cooperate. A buddy of mine blew a cop's head off.
Wow.
And I was present. Actually, it was like right over my ear when he did it. Like, if I would have moved, he would have shot me. So that kind of put me on the straight and narrow, Then I saw him shoot himself. Because, we all ran. So I seen him almost pass away. They brought him back. He blew the front part of his cranial off, but they brought him back, and so everything played I can't say the word. Everything played a part in my upbringing. My dad not being there, my mom being there, being strong for us, and us being strong for her, and she taught me how to cook, clean, and take care of the house. Made sure I never had to depend on anybody. So, yeah.
Was that guy who tried to? So, did he shoot himself because of what he did?
Well, they were coming after us.
Okay.
We were hiding in the bushes. It's like a cow pasture. We were hiding in the bushes, and I think he just didn't want to get caught. He thought, well, they catch me, they're just going to kill me anyways. So he put the gun in its mouth and pulled the trigger.
Wow. Is he still alive today?
From what I heard, yeah.
In prison or?
No, he's home from the last time I heard.
Yeah.
They had him in a mental place. Because, he blew out the front part of his brain. So they sent him home so that he didn't have to spend taxes on him, I think he spent like 15 years locked up, and the rest they sent him home.
And you haven't seen him since?
No, I haven't seen him since.
Okay.
Since the courtroom. Yeah.
I'm just all curious now. I want to know what he looks like and everything.
He's black, half white, real big muscular dude. He was when he was a teenager. He was 18.
But I mean, as far as like, what is it? Was his skull totally deformed? Were they able to put stuff back together?
You know what? He looked. When I saw him in the courtroom, he looked fine, just fat. Never able to work out no more because he used to. He had the 6-pack and the 12-pack and all this stuff, and he was just kind of crazy. He used to take a lot of acid. Acid was big in the 90s. He would
in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, he would put like 14 paper hits in the bandana and wrap them around his forehead, and he'd be tripping days.
Those are some stories there. We probably shouldn't get into, but I do have a lot of those types of stories to share. Some fun days.
I've seen, I've been, I've done, I've heard, I've witnessed, my life has been, this.
But you found your groove. You found your, and it didn't seem like it took you that long in your life.
15. As soon as I hit 15, and they released me from jail, I was like, I'm not going through this again.
Yeah. So I guess in some ways it might have been a positive that it did happen, although somebody lost their life. But I mean, as far as turning you around and pushing you towards, a more stable life.
Yeah. It sure did.
Wow. That's big. I've never been, I've done my share of things, but that's never that far. Okay. Actually, we are right about an hour in, so now's a good time. Let's go ahead and open it up to the chat. We're going to let you guys ask questions of Ricky, anything you'd like to know, fish related, non-fish related, whatever. He said he's an open book. I see a bunch of cool people in here, like the usual. There's June, there's Kenny, there's Scotty, Zenny, just everybody. Skydancer, happy birthday again. Skydancer's birthday is today.
Happy birthday, Skydancer.
Patty and Steven, Nexacali, George, how you doing? Dolbeck, just everybody. 46 people watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Hello, everybody. See the chat.
Tuesday night.
Hello, everybody.
So let's start. I see the very first one there. Eric wants to know, what is your favorite sandwich? And it better involve peanut butter because of PB Aquatics. And actually, we need to know too. PB is what? You told me before.
Palm Beach.
Okay. I knew you told me before, but
I was going to change it to Pretty Boy. That's why Dee Dee calls me Pretty Boy Ricky.
Yeah. Dee Dee.
My favorite sandwich. Oh man. It's called a Gator. What it's called. It's a Gator sub. It's from John Smith Subs. It's kielbasa with steak and chicken, and they got a special sauce they put over it and whatever vegetables you want. That'd be my favorite sandwich right there.
What is it again? Chicken, steak, and what was the first one?
Kielbasa.
Oh, kielbasa. Okay. Wow. So it's super meaty, and then
whatever you want.
The Gator. Yeah, they don't have those here that I'm aware of. Maybe they call them something different.
Well, if you ever come to Palm Beach, I'll get you one.
I will someday. Someday I will, and I will take you up on that. I'm going to get a Gator. So that's your favorite. Okay. Let's see. It jumped. We got Eric. Dolbeck says, would you rather have a bad algae problem or an IT problem, a computer problem? So bad algae or computer stuff?
Bad algae. I know how to handle algae. I don't know nothing about computers. I got to call my son when it comes to computers.
As a computer guy, though, as an IT guy, I heard that so many times when somebody would bring me the computer that their son fixed. And it was pretty bad off, and I would have to, go back and actually fix it, because a lot of kids thought that they knew what they were doing, and they didn't. They're supposed to know, because it's, let's see, where are we at? And please do the at Rico stand for me too, because otherwise I'm just gonna skip down through them. So if you
Oh,
guys
oh,
could,
thank you for that, only Oscars.
if you see one too, Ricky, feel free. Go ahead and jump in.
I can see the chat.
Okay.
I do want to say whatever videos are on my channel is what's going to be on there for a little while. I won't be making nothing new anytime soon. But I have I think over 80 videos on there. So if anybody wants to watch what's on there, feel free. It's a lot of DIY stuff.
And I do see Lori. Hi, Lori. And I think Zenny, and I've seen your link being dropped quite often. So yeah, if you guys don't have Ricky, please, that's what this is all about too, is making sure we're subscribed to everybody in the fish fam, so. Oh, we saw just a corner. Is that's your wife or?
My son.
Oh, well, tell him just to wave. He can wave.
You can wave.
Why are you talking to Santa Claus? Zen Ginger comes up with she's switching up a little bit. Would you rather be in a giant tank and fight off 1,000 guppy-sized great whites or one great white-sized guppy? So you're in some type of pool or something. It could be 1,000 small great whites or
one giant great white guppy.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. That's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Because imagine a guppy that's 20 feet long. It probably could swallow you.
But I'm sure it could.
He doesn't have the teeth.
But it's still gonna hurt.
That's a good question. I don't know what I would answer.
1,000 great white guppy size.
Because they could still nibble. If you're in there, that'd be like little piranhas. They could,
Yeah, but I don't think they could bite you deep enough to do any damage. I think you could squish them before.
If there's 1,000 of them, though, I guess it depends on how much protection you're wearing. I mean, if you're nude,
you could put 1,000 guppies into a 125. Right?
It's a great question.
I don't know. That's you got me stumped.
I think I would go with the one great white-sized guppy. I think I would, even though it probably could swallow me. I feel like I could fight it off better than those 1,000 of those little. They're just taking bites out of you. I guess it depends on what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Because if you're just wearing any type of clothing, you're fine.
If you got
or if you're extremely hairy, as some people are, you might be okay. Okay, so I might have skipped some because I'm looking for the Rico stand. So here's one from June, only Oscars at 7:30. She says you're getting greener with each live. I'm trying to get more green. Actually, I cleaned out a lot of the stuff that was over here. But if you ask a question before that point, I didn't see it. So please redo it with the at Rico stand for me. Okay. George Mexicali wants to know what you're keeping in the two tanks you're downsizing to. The two big tanks. What are you going to keep?
In the 110, I have 6 blue diamond discus, and I have 6 albino threadfin acaras. And in this tank, I have albino redheads, Geophagus redhead topper hose. I got the regular topper hose, and I got Aprilios in there. And I might mix in a couple angelfish here and there. But I'm getting rid of a bunch of fish too, because I need to close these things. I want to keep the tanks, just close them down, put them away until I move to a bigger place. Then I'll set everything back up.
Is it easy for you to get rid of fish there? I mean, is there fish clubs? I know you've got some friends in the area, like Jason and
PB Aquatics lives like 2 minutes from me.
Okay.
Jason lives like 4 hours, 3 hours.
Oh, I thought he was closer for some reason.
Why was I go up there so much? Well, I used to go up there a lot. Lately, I've just been so busy. Then I got the pet store, so I donate them to the pet stores and stuff like that.
Okay, so there's plenty of places for you to get rid of them.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of fish. Well, maybe it is, but you know,
Okay.
I really don't want to part with them.
And only Oscars would like to know if you have any Oscars. You do not, right?
No, but I tell you what, my wife loves them. She saw, I think it was on KG Tropicals. He's got the Oscars in the thing, and she saw that. She's like, "Wow, what is that? Those are Oscars. Oh, those are nice. Yeah, they get big, you know. And I can catch them wild here. I can catch Oscars. I go fishing for them. I can catch them, and they're the best thing to fish for. They fight like no other fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do they get a lot bigger in the wild, or they the
12
same?
inches.
Are they smaller?
10, 12 inches.
Okay.
Yeah. But they really they pull and they pull and they pull and I use the small 3-foot mini rods. Yeah, I don't use a full fishing pole because I like the small pole. I
Yeah.
like the feel of it, and they
Stop
really
it, Patty.
pull that line. It's awesome. They're an awesome fight.
And do you eat those?
I don't know. I
I
don't
know
eat it.
I know other people have, but I just wondered. I'm not against eating them, so I would
I don't,
try it.
I don't eat lobsters. I don't eat shrimp. I don't eat no seafood.
No seafood. What, and no fish at all, or just no seafood?
Fish sticks or fish sandwich from McDonald's. I don't know if that counts.
It's sort of. I mean, it's sort of fish. It's fish adjacent.
Fish. Okay, well that's about it.
You just
And
don't like it, or is there more of a reason?
I like tuna fish. I just don't like it.
Okay.
I tried a crab one time, which it wasn't real crab. It was that imitation.
Yeah.
Fish is horrible, and I just
Yeah. It's
never had
usually
a,
like whiting or something, and they flavor it.
yeah, just never had a flavor for it.
Because I know some people, fish are friends and they don't eat fish and stuff, and I absolutely love it. I love pretty much all kinds of fish, all kinds of seafood. I've never had any I didn't like.
Yeah,
Um,
all that stuff. I don't. My wife don't like it either, so it kind of.
uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, you're
Hello?
back. You're back.
At the wrong time.
Robert wants to get swallowed.
He wants to
I
do
think
what?
he's talking about the. I think he's talking about the guppy. I think. Maybe you never know with Robert though. Have you considered doing live streams instead of doing video when you get relocated?
I've thought a lot about doing live streams, but I just don't know if I don't know. I'm weird about that stuff. I mean, if I'm gonna chat like with you or something, we can have a conversation. I know what to say and stuff. But when I'm by myself, I just feel like like I'm frozen.
Yeah,
But I've thought about it a lot.
I do miss seeing you up there with Aquafunk. I think you guys.
I miss doing it, but I got to focus right now on a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And, the same issues we were having with this before we started the live, we were having to on his lives, and it worked out to the point to where.
Let's see.
Can
Oh,
you hear me?
yep. I think you're back.
Trying to call me at the wrong time. I guess they don't know I'm on live. So it worked out because the issues we were having with the live stream, and then I'm getting ready to start classes here. I think Saturday's my first class. I'm going into ministry. So
into what?
Into ministry.
Oh, okay.
So I need to focus on that right now. But once all that is said and done, I might start doing live streams instead of videos just to keep current, because I do want to return one day and start making videos again. I got a lot of videos that I want to make. Like I just made a DIY sump that I finished today, and that could have been a killer content video, but I don't have the time to set up the camera, and I got to get things done quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I would just like to say if you don't have the time to stream or to make videos, at least don't go away. At least, do like you've been doing and show up in an Aquatic Morning Show and still say hi and stuff. Just don't go away.
I'm always working. I put my headphones in at work and I listen to you guys on live, and every once in a while, hey, I'm still here,
Still live.
Yeah.
Nano Aquarium guy who also lives in Florida, but I think he's farther south. I could be wrong. He wants to know what your favorite fish store is in your area.
Oh, there's so many.
Really? See, that's just not fair because I think I might have found a new one though. I'm going to a fish swap this weekend that's not super far from me, um, for a place I never heard of. So maybe I do have a fish store that's close.
You know what? Maybe if you don't have enough of them there, maybe you got an open one.
You don't know me well enough. I am super lazy. Like that's work. I don't want to do work. I don't want to do something. I don't want to do stuff.
That's my end game. Once I'm retired, I want to have a little fish store, and I don't care if I sell fish. I just want to play with fish all day long.
If you sell some, enough to stay open.
Yeah, enough to stay open. Enough to keep from the wife yelling at me.
Yeah. That seems to be a dream for a lot of people in our community. I mean, obviously, we all enjoy it so much, but be able to make a living off of doing that. But you can't narrow it down to just one of the stores that you like the most by you.
There's one that's called Wild Cargo. That's one that I visit a lot. They have a good fish selection. The people are real friendly. It's a family, mom and pops. They've been around since I was a kid. All those many years ago, I used to visit them, and now it's been passed down to the kids.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
awesome. They're awesome
Yeah.
people. Very informative. They sit there and talk to you, tell you what you need to know. And that's where I go the most. It's called Wild Cargo. It's right off a military trail. If anybody's close by me.
Do you know if they have an online presence at all? Do they have a store or anything?
They have a YouTube channel, but it's mostly homesteading and stuff like that.
Okay. Just so we can give them a shout out if they've got anything we can share, and if the mods feel like it.
A lot too.
I'm sorry. It seems like when I talk, it takes your mic a minute to pick up. I'm like talking over you, so I apologize. But I missed what you said there.
I said they have an Instagram, Wild Cargo on Instagram.
Okay.
They do a lot of reptiles. They do a lot of reptiles. They breed a lot of their own reptiles. It's a nice store. It really is.
Wild Cargo. So if one of the mods could find that, we'll at least give them a shout out. Let's see. So again, I'm just looking for the @Rico stand. So if you've posted something and I didn't get to, there's Mark, Fish Tank Dad. Hello. Glad you're back, Rico. Missed you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And thanks for being a member. I do appreciate that greatly. 7 months. 7 months. I've had members for 7 months. That's amazing.
Wow.
And I see Kelly Foreman coming in and dropping a super chat. Thank you, Kelly. Let's get down to that. I'm not seeing any more of the Rico stands. But there's Kelly Foreman. I missed your sexy Rico face. Thank you. I'm just gonna say thank you because I don't even know what to do with that. But thank you, Kelly Foreman, and thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Mick, is Ricky keeping any marine tanks? No salt, right?
No, but it is a dream of mine. I do want a nice saltwater tank, but I want something different. I don't want to do the same corals and the rocks, and I want to find a way to mix in some kind of salt plants or something like that into it. I want to do it different than everybody else, but one day.
Do any of your tanks? Do you get into plants at all? Because I noticed the one behind you isn't. You said discus and the other one, so I mean the temperatures aren't. I know a lot of plants will live, but they don't enjoy that higher temperature.
When I first got in the hobby, way back when, I had a lot of planted tanks then, but now since everything was meant to be bred, I just kept the things kind of bare.
Okay.
On this one here, all these right here, everything that's you see sitting up, that's all PVC. I just painted it to look like wood.
Oh, gotcha.
I put some lines into it with the grinder, and gave it some texture and stuff. But yeah, they love it. I made the caves for it, and they love that stuff. They all want food.
Let's see. And also Mick wanted to know your favorite fish. If you had to pick just one.
My favorite fish of all time is the Geophagus, and I can't pronounce the rest of it. It's not a bal it's not a Balzani, but it's the other one that starts with a B. They get like 16 inches long. Their face is like rounded at the front.
It's a rainbow, you said?
No, it's a Geophagus.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I heard rainbow.
Geophagus boziliani or something like that. I can pronounce it if I see it, but if
Oh,
I
gotcha.
but yeah, that's my all-time favorite fish.
Danikin actually was a member for 8 months, so he thought it was longer. Yeah, 8 months. That's amazing.
Oh,
Amazing.
Danikin's in the chat. What's up, Danikin?
Mr. Kenny. And there's George RB3. What's going on? Let's see. And there's Whip World. Let's see. That's not the Ricky I thought it was. RB Aquatics. Ricky is not the same RB. Oh, nope. Yeah, those are two different people. So Ricky, the other Ricky, he doesn't really do YouTube anymore. I haven't seen him in quite a while. So yeah, different Rickies.
I've seen RB Animals, whatever it's called, RB Rescue Animals Rescue, something like that. I've seen on Vinny's stream.
Oh, okay. He still hangs out over at Vinny's.
Yeah.
All right. I don't. Vinny's stream is a very
It's wild over there.
acquired taste. Nothing against Vinny. Love you, Vinny. Just can't do the streams. Just can't do it. It's too much for my sensibilities. And I'm at the bottom of the chat. I'm not seeing any other. Go ahead.
I'll try to pop into his streams, 5-10 minutes, and good night. But yeah.
Hey, it takes all kinds. People like different things, and whatever you enjoy doing, Zen Ginger, go ahead.
You know what it is with Vinny? When I first started, he showed me a lot of love. So every once in a while, just I'm still there with him, and I don't know if you remember Joe's Trips and Ticks. I can't remember his name anymore. Joe Tips and Tricks, I think it was, or Tricks and Tips. Anyways, those two guys showed me a lot of love when I first started out, so that's why I still try to. He stopped by, say hi, like button, and then I'm gone.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I do watch some of Vinny's his videos. Do watch his videos, but I don't watch his live streams. They're just not for me. But they're different for everybody. So, I'm not throwing shade at Vinny or anything like that. It's not for me. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy a lot of my stuff either. So it works out both ways. So, but I get what you're saying. And Vinny was one of the first people to comment. In fact, he was I thought he was my first subscriber that wasn't somebody from the kayaking community, because I used my channel way back in the day, however many years ago, decade ago, for kayaking stuff that was very specific. It wasn't even public. Everything was unlisted, and I shared it with specific places, forums and things like that. So when I started hanging out in the streams and stuff, Vinny was one of my first subscribers, but my very first one was this one right here, Fish Room Fever, James. But he has his subscribers hidden, which I do too. It's a thing you can set so that nobody sees if you're subscribed to whatever channels. There's reasons for it. But he told me he was actually my first subscriber. So Vinny was second. So I still got to show Vinny love, because same thing. He did give me that support. You've got to support those people. That's what it's all about. This community has its ups and downs, and sometimes I hate all of you people, and sometimes I love you all. And but it's all about everybody getting better, and everybody having that support, and everybody being involved in making the community better. So, sorry, didn't mean to start preaching. Zenny, what's your two biggest pet peeves in life, in the hobby or otherwise? She says. So, any types of pet peeves. What's things that really get to you?
I hate stupid people.
Steph?
No, not her. Just in general, just outright, just plain ignorant people. They get on my nerves a lot. And then I don't like those people who think they know everything and they think they're always right and stuff, and they're not open to a conversation. Let me show you why I'm right, or just find out if I'm right. That kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It is good to have a conversation with somebody, and I get you. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that just say, no, 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 it's my way or no. I say, oh, well, you're losing out.
And
You're wrong.
I have to admit that I am a little bit of that. Because I'm set in my ways. I'm old. I'm cranky. I'm set in my ways. I've been through a lot, and a lot of times, honestly, people tell me things, but they don't know the whole story, and I'm like, well, no, that's not true, and they get upset with me, um, because I appear to not be open minded, but the fact is, I've already gone down the rabbit hole they're talking about and found out that that's not the case, and I will make my case. I will say no, this is, but I come across like that sometimes, and
I'm not the best at it, but I try to listen to somebody. And even though I know they're wrong, I listen to them, let them get it all out, and then I'll come back with this is really this, and this is what's going to happen. And if I'm wrong, well, then hey, prove me wrong.
yeah. We'll find out who's right, though, and then we both learn.
But I have no problem saying, you know what, I was wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, I'll say I was wrong. This don't happen very often. I think it's that Ricky thing.
Let's see. Myrtle's question. Okay, Myrtle's question is very difficult. So Myrtle's question, and we haven't seen Myrtle in forever. I miss the guy. He's such a big part of our community, and I do miss him a lot. Myrtle's question is tough sometimes, and his question is, what's the one thing you would change about me, and what's the one thing I would change about you? And I can actually, this time's not too tough for me. The one thing I would change about you is that you were in a nice, big, open house where you could have all the tanks you wanted and had the time to maintain them. That you were at that point in your life, which you're going to get to. You're getting there. You're going to be there someday. I just wish that day was now, so that you could still enjoy the hobby and enjoy everything and have the time to do it. So that's my wish for you. So now you have to say what you would change about me.
What would I wish for Rico? Right? Rico or Ryko? Ryko, yeah? Ryko stand?
Depends on who you talk to. Both Aquafunk and Drew call me Ryko Stan. It is Rico Stan. It's Rico, yes.
I would say I give you your youth back, but you probably like where you're at right now. So
I do.
You got the perfect life, so it can't be that.
I don't know about that. If you only knew. Oh my God.
You know what I would do for you? I would give you your dream dog.
Oh, there's a good one.
I know you've been looking for one.
Yeah, I just barely started.
And he would live as long as you do.
Thank you. That's the best. Thank you so much. I would absolutely love that. And yes, I just decided I was sort of holding off. I hinted very strongly that I wanted one for Father's Day, and that didn't happen. So now I'm going to start looking around at the shelters and look around and see what I want. I could go to a breeder, but I really don't want to. I want to stick to a rescue, but it's got to be a puppy. And I don't really care about the breed. I just want something that's going to live a long time. A smaller dog. All right.
Great big Doberman, but my wife said I can't have one until we get 3 land. So
yeah, you don't want one in that house now. Let's see. So we got Scotty, and thank you, Scotty, for bringing that one up. Nano Aquarium Guy says, what's your favorite genre of movie, TV, or books? Do you really get into certain types of movies, like superhero movies, or?
I do like the superhero movie. I like the Marvel and the DC. And I'm more of a Marvel person than DC, but I like a lot of action movies. And you got to have you got to keep me interested the whole movie. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Action.
Gotcha. And do you enjoy reading? Do you do that very much? I mean, without having very much time, it's a lot harder to sit down with a book than it is to watch a movie for 2 hours.
I read a lot of Instagram. When I was
Fitness models don't count.
when I was younger, I used to read a lot of magazines, but in private. And I did it just for the columns. I really wanted to read. I didn't want to see the pictures. I wanted to read them. All their likes and dislikes.
All right. Well, oh, okay. Here we go. Oh yeah, Brookley's question. Brookley too. I haven't seen Brookley tonight. I know she was having some sleeping issues, but hopefully she's doing okay. Oh, here it is. So, do you have any weird physical traits? You know, like wiggle your ears or touch. Was it? Can he touch his toes to his ear and wiggle his nose? Touch his toes to his ear.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
the toe and ear thing. I'm not built for that.
Scotty, that seems
I can wiggle my ears, but I gotta move my eyes to do it. Like when you open your eyes and your ears move. But yeah, other than that, no.
It's funny because Brookley always has a very hard time asking that question because she knows that most of us have dirty minds and we always go that route when it comes to physical. Can you do anything weird physically? You know, so she's
But
always like trying to
when I
figure it
was
out.
younger, no, I'm not going there.
Mickey wants to know if there's any other animals in your house right now.
Not besides my son, no.
I was going to say that. I was beside your son. And Zenny wants to know if you have any other hobbies that non-animal related ones. Did we touch on that? I thought we talked about it.
We did that. Right now, no. There's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
I would like to be doing, but I just don't have the time. You know, I work almost 6 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm not working, I'm sleeping.
And you said some of those hobbies were stuff like just nature stuff. You like hunting and fishing and being outdoors and all that kind of stuff.
One day I want to try kayaking, you know.
I love it. I just miss it so much. I really do. It's so just it can be anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
And it's just great. Kayaking is just such you know, it's so zen sometimes too because you can get out there and nobody is around. You don't hear any noises. All you hear is you don't hear any human noises. All you hear is animals and water.
There's a couple places here where they got really great trails through the intercoastal, and you go through the mangroves and stuff like that, and it's really, really cool. And they got a couple places where you can kayak to like a little island in the intercoastal. And you can hang out there, people party there and stuff like that. And it's stuff I want to do. I just got to get around to it.
Yeah. I think there's manatees and stuff in that area too then, right? You can paddle with the manatees.
I try to
catch a huge manatee.
I tell you, they're a lot faster than they look.
Amanda Jean wants to know, she said, in contrast to Zen's question, the two biggest blessings in your life. And I'm going to say your wife is one of them.
She's the main one is my wife. She saved my life. Let's put it like that. One for her in prison somewhere. The biggest blessings in my life would be my wife and my job at the moment. I mean, I can't ask for a better boss. I really can't.
Yeah.
You know, I get mad sometimes and I get frustrated sometimes, but at the end of the day, you can't have a better boss than what I have right now.
All the difference in the world.
All the difference in the world. So 360 from where I was. You know, he's the kindest. He's actually a professional race car driver.
Really? What level is? I don't know anything about racing, so
I don't know. He races that car with the parachute that comes out the back.
Oh, drag racing, yeah.
Sure, that thing. His name is Dave Richards. So if anybody watches racing and sees that name, Dave Richards, that's my boss. He's 8 feet tall, fits in his little old car like this, you know, all
Hi, Dave Richards, if you're watching. That's nice that you said such good things about him, and just in case. Let's see. So we're just about done here. Zenny, switching up my last mail question too. Man, keeping me on my toes tonight. So, okay, so here we go. Here's your scenario. So you're having a dinner party. There's only 3 other spots. So there's going to be 4 people eating, including yourself. and you can have any meal, any food, and any 3 people. What are you eating, and what's who's there? Living or dead?
We're eating Italian. All right, 'cause I love Italian food. That's my favorite food in the world. Who would it be? Me, my wife, my mother, definitely my mother, and I wouldn't mind talking to the founding father, George Washington, and find out what their ideas really were.
Yeah, that would be good to actually be able to. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah.
All 4 of us.
And I like that. I knew you were going to throw your mom in there.
Oh man, I miss her every day.
I get that. And we're at the bottom. So, again, anything we didn't talk about you want to bring up? You said you're not going to really be doing much videos coming up or anything like that. You will stop in and say hi. But anything else that we didn't really talk about that you think you want to share with people and tell them?
At the moment, no, everything.
We covered most of the good stuff.
Yeah, they got all the goodies.
Some of the bad stuff, but that's partly of what makes you you too.
I don't see it as. I don't think any of it's bad because that's what made me who I am today.
Yeah.
And if you were to know me and meet me, I think the one thing you could say about me is if you need me, I'm there. So I think all that drove, what I'm saying, everything guided me to this point to who I am. So yeah, none of it's bad. It was a bad moment. It was a bad feeling at the moment, I should say. Other than that, it was an experience. It was a lesson. It was a moment of learning in my life.
Yeah.
Don't do
It's
this.
a positive attitude to have about all that kind of stuff. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's it's in the past and you wouldn't change it for anything. I guess we're at the end. It is 8:00. So thanks, Ricky, for hanging out with me. Next week we have Mike from Mike's here. He changed his name again. It's our aquatic, not again, but it's our aquatic universe with Mike B. Mike B will be our guest next week. And I might be doing a Saturday stream with Jess, Lady Metalhead. I unfortunately had to reschedule on her twice. So as long as James or Ed are not streaming on Saturday, then we'll have Lady Metalhead up as well for a Saturday focus on this week. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all the membership stuff. And yeah, thanks for being you, people. Anything before I click the button?
Keep an eye out. Maybe a video pop up here and there.
Go subscribe if you haven't to Ricky. PB Aquatics. The link's been in there.
And if you don't like me, that's fine. Go subscribe to Garcia Aquatics.
Garcia Berto's good too. I don't see him too much these days.
He's popping videos left and right lately.
Yeah, I just haven't seen him much. Maybe he's too busy.
He found out how to do his own editing, so he's throwing them out. He's got at least 4 new videos out now.
He's hustling. All right, I'll see you guys. Take care.